The Cellar
Yeah.
on Comedy Central. And, there's so many good ones. And one of my personal favorites right now out of there is Jessica Curson.
Oh, yeah. She's the best.
Yeah. So I feel like the quarantine really, like, I had a lot of, things lined up and I was very excited. And then this happened. But one is hosting for her.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Carlson?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's really cool.
But it's not till September, so I might still have a chance.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Yeah. I think she's gonna, Mark said she brings her opener but but he would totally, I could host, which is so cool because I think it's just because I'm such a huge fan of hers and also Fortune if she was to come.
Oh,
I'm another, and he's like, I would totally give that to you. So that would be,
cool.
So for me, just to even get to like host and watch 5 shows of somebody I admire, that's that makes my week, I'm happy, so.
I think hosting is also kind of like the hardest job at a comedy
Thank you. I mean,
like featuring is like easy because you just get up and do like 20 minutes. I usually will host at the comedy club too, and it's hard, and you don't get paid very much money, and like it's tough.
Thank you. That's something I've learned just doing comedy 2 years. My first time hosting, I was like, Madelein, I had only been doing it 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And Mark's like, because I won the funniest Rochester thing. He's like, you get to host. So I'm like, oh, great. What the fuck is hosting? I mean, I do nothing, Madelein. I'm like, what is hosting?
Yeah.
So Todd Youngman, you know what I mean? It was kind of rushed. I was working, so I didn't have a lot of time for Todd. Because, I mean, when it comes to hosting, he's a tremendous help. You know what I mean? Because, he will give you tips and all that. So I did, and I ate shit at it. So I'm just oh, God, I'm probably never going to get asked back again. And then I got lucky, and Dana Goldberg asked for video footage from local comics to open for her, and I sent her some of mine, and she picked me. So that was great. So I opened for her. Then Mark gave me 2 other featuring jobs. So I still had never hosted.
Yeah.
Like he had me feature for like Marcella Aguayo. So I had never still hosted. And now I'm just like, I mean, I'm featuring, but I'm not hosting, but I suck at hosting, but I really probably got to learn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's so hard. And I'm so glad that, I've had so many other people say, oh, hosting is nothing. Featuring is hard. Oh, I'm with you. Hosting is so hard.
Yeah, because featuring, you just do your material. Hosting, you need to be like, hey, okay, check out the website. Next weekend, we got this guy. Hey, how's everybody doing? Any birthdays? It's like just like doing a lot of like warm-up work, which I think is way harder.
It is. And people are still sitting during, right? They're still ordering their drinks. You're the first person on there. You're kind of setting the tone. It is so, to me, it is so difficult. So, but then I ended up getting to host for, to Carl Williams. I did all 5 shows. And I really, like, after the second one, I think I really found my groove. And, so I and then Mark was like, you did great. And Takara's like, if I ever come back, like totally, I want you to host again. She had brought her opener. So then I felt like maybe because a lot of people just don't have 20 minutes. I don't know, hosting. Yeah. And there are certain people that I think are like amazing hosts because they do it so much, especially if you host like open mics, like there's a lot of practice right there.
Totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I agree.
So do you do any open mics in the city to work on your stuff still?
Yeah, I feel like when I first moved there, I did a lot of open mics also just because I didn't know so many people. I only knew like a handful of people in the city. So I was like, okay, well, if I want to get booked on shows, I got to go do mics because that's how people see you.
Right.
And some of them are really great and some of them are just like horrible. Like horrible.
Yeah.
But, like, the like queer ones or like the ones that are more like gay focused, I feel like those ones are a lot better, honestly. Like everyone's more like friendly there and you can do your material about queer stuff and it's not like just a bunch of straight dudes. So I like those ones a lot.
Yeah. That's So yeah, next time I come, once this is over and I come to the city, I definitely hit you up so that you can tell me, where to go to do some mics, because I'm absolutely clueless.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do listen to a lot of podcasts with other, comedians. Just I'm one of those people that I feel like I can never get enough knowledge about any subject. So now that I'm doing comedy, I'm just like, I need all the knowledge I can get. And a lot of them said, like, they got lucky at a mic and like Colbert's people saw them. Yeah. So that kind of makes sense, because I guess if you're looking for new talent.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of like stuff down there where you would be. I get the sense that you'd be surprised where like the people are, because you would think, people will only see me if I'm on like a really, big club show or something. But I know that the woman who books for Colbert for the late night spots, now she's out in LA, but when she was in New York, she would sometimes just be at like bar shows and small shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I know one of them. And another one was that I listened to their podcast, said that they were found at an open mic by MTV and got on a show.
Wow, really? That's cool.
One of the producers was there. Wow. So, I mean, I guess you just, you never know.
Yeah.
So that's it. You just go down there and grind, man, right? Like.
Yeah. I think that's what you have to do. It is really hard because like, unless you come from like a wealthy family or you have like a wealthy spouse or something, it's like you also have to work a day job because the rent there is so expensive. So you have to like work all the time and then like do shows and mics all night. And it is really tiring, and everybody there is really into the grind. They're like, you got to go to like 4 shows a night, 5 shows a night. You got to be like out and about. And it does get really tiring sometimes.
Yeah, because you can hit 4 mics a night there, right?
Yeah, for sure. And if you like want to go from borough to borough, you could like go to Brooklyn and go to Manhattan and be all around. But it's just like, it's a lot. I think it's easier for people who are like, have like a trust fund or something like that.
Right. So is it the same? Are we outnumbered there still with female to male ratio?
I think so, but I definitely think it's a lot better than like in a smaller city. Because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like in Rochester, there's not very many female comics, really. I mean, there's you and Ilhan.
I mean, I come up there and they look at me with their mouth open. Who's this fat old bitch gonna say?
Yeah.
But honestly, I think it kind of benefits me sometimes, because I think like a lot of times the crowd is like, where's she coming? And then they listen. So I got to get them right away. Because I think they're already like, what the fuck what's this?
Definitely. I feel like upstate, like like I've noticed since I moved, I would always do a bunch of shows in like these kind of hillbilly places in upstate. And I liked it, and I really liked it. And I would always be like, I'm surprised that I like it because it's all these like Trump supporters and stuff. But I think that they do pay more attention to you because they're like, oh, like a girl, or like, especially if you come up and you're like, hey, I'm like bisexual or I'm gay or something, then they're like, their mind is blown by that. But then they pay attention to you.
Right. Plus, I do, and I can be very self-deprecating. So I'm probably saying exactly what they were thinking.
Yeah.
And it makes it even, because, hey, it is what it is. I've been self-deprecating my entire life. So it's not even like I'm just doing, that's just been my humor. My whole family, that's how we get through. We laugh at the most tragic times. That's just... so that's another thing. And I'm not woke. Okay. I mean, I'm woke when I wake up in the morning. That's about as woke as I am. So now that I'm like my kids keep me somewhat woke. I've got 2 20-year-old millennials, but they're so dumb. They don't pay attention to anything anyway. So, and and one of them is even, a lesbian, but you would never know because at that age, they don't. It's so different, and it's different in a good way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like she would never be like, oh, let's go to a pride parade. For me, she's like, why do you all need to gather? But they, because it's so accepted, thank God. A lot of it is so much more accepted that they don't why are you all gathering in the same bar together? You know what I mean? For that age group, believe it or not, which is a great thing. But I feel like, God, they're losing a lot of that like camaraderie that we had, you know, when I was younger, of like all being together. And I don't know, but it's definitely different. But so you are married to a man, but you're in an open relationship.
Yep.
Exactly.
And exactly, baby.
Okay, so how do you, like, how does this work when you are seeing somebody else but you live in the same house?
Well, it didn't really become like a thing that I had to deal with until I started seeing my girlfriend that I've been seeing now for like 9 months, because like at first it was like, oh, we're just gonna like have fun, and we're moving to a new city, and it's like a big city, so we can like hook up with other people or go on the dating apps or whatever, and it was supposed to just be like that. But then I guess this is like a very kind of stereotypical like queer girl lesbian thing to do. I like went on this like 2 dates with this girl over the summer, and then we were like in love, and I was like, oh no, I love her.
Well, that's, you know, that's lesbianism. What can you do? You know, listen, Madeleine, we know stereotypes are based on reality. Fuck it. Okay. They are. And
I was like, we should all move in together. Like, I was like, I lost my mind. I've like lost my mind. And I had, you know, not to be like too graphic, but I had like definitely had sex with women before. I had, especially in college, you know, when everyone's like crazy.
Right.
This is the first time that I had like been in love with another woman, and it was very overwhelming. And then I was like, oh no, does this mean I don't love my husband anymore? I don't care about him. But then I was like, no, I mean, I still feel the way I feel about him, but I also feel these really strong feelings towards her. So then that was like a whole weird thing. I had to like read these books about polyamory and like try to understand, and like, I don't know, it was like very confused. It's still
so you're struggling with being so woke too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 30. I'm not like as young as I once was, you know. Like,
you're still a baby to me. So
I am a baby. I mean,
yeah,
I'm for sure a baby, but like I feel like people, like you're saying, like people who are like 19 and 20, I feel like they're all queer and they're all like these cool like polyamorous, like living this lifestyle. And
okay.
Like, I don't know. I'm just not.
I mean, you are. Yeah, 30. My kids are in their early 20s. So, and you know what? 5-6 years too does make a difference in
a little bit.
Yeah, with the generations, because you're kind of like, well, you would be like an no, I think you're still millennial, but you're kind of like the elder.
Yeah, I'm an elder.
Right. You know what I mean? I'm a freaking baby boomer, and I don't think I act like, so I'm like young. I don't know. I'm like a Gen Xer or elder.
You're like in the middle, I think.
Yeah. But so yeah, I'm always like, when people are like, oh, I'm in this open relationship and da-da-da, and I'm like, how the fuck does that work? Okay, because if I'm gonna come home with another girl, when my girlfriend's sitting on the couch with the remote, let's say I go to open mic and I come tramping in with another girl, she is not gonna play that.
She's not into that. Well, I think also it kind of depends on the person, because some people are more jealous, some people don't really care.
Right.
I sort of feel like with my husband, he and I have been really close friends since we were like 16, and we started dating when we were like 18. So we've been together and known each other for so long that it's kind of like I just don't think that he cares. I don't think he's a very jealous person. I don't think he cares.
And I mean, honestly, me and her, I shouldn't say that, but like, we're not jealous either. Like, people always laugh at the non-jealousy that we have. Like, when we go out and she's always getting hit on by, you know, not so much because we don't go out anymore. Like quarantine, we've been, you know, quarantining for years. But, but I mean, honestly, if someone hits on her, like another girl, and someone's like, oh, doesn't that bother you? I'm like, they are making my life so much easier right now. They just made her feel so happy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and when I come home at night, she would always be like, don't you got some open mics to go to? Because she wants the living room and the TV, whatever, you know. So like jealousy was never our thing, and we always do make a joke. If we take in a third, she has got to be so butchy because she's got to do some shit. Like she's got to be like every time something breaks, she's like.